Okay, we are live, and I am Romer M. I am here with, please introduce yourself.
Hey, my name's Jake Adams. You can call me Bionic Bruh. I am the creator and writer for Cobalt, and my production studio is known as Tail End. So you can find me at those two ats, Bionic Bruh and Tail End Studio on Twitter or Instagram.
All right, awesome. So what we have here is his creation, Cobalt Atlanta Thrashing, if I
Mm-hmm.
recall correctly, or I could be mixing it up. But the
No,
main title
Cobalt
would just be
Atlantis Thrashing.
Cobalt.
Yeah,
All
you
right,
got
very
it.
good. Okay, awesome. So this is a cyberpunk inspired uh, comic book, and there's also some themes of something called film noir setting, like tech noir, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah, kind of like neo noir type style stuff.
So very
Uh,
futuristic.
Oh, definitely. Now it's not so futuristic, such as like Star Circuit or Cerebrum's going to be. This is very
Hmm.
much like the beginning steps to getting all that futuristic technology. So as the story continues, it's going to incorporate different pieces of tech from different locations around the world as he meets some new allies and enemies.
Yes, I actually noticed that as I read through your book, and noticed that he has a really basic fighting style. Like he starts out with with a basic looks like a combination here of a police baton and a gun. Like even if just like the way that it's shaped. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
sure whether that was your intent.
Yeah, so those are tonfas. They're a Filipino fighting weapon. So they're kind of like a scrimmage sticks, but they got the handle on the outside, like a nightstick or a baton that a police would use. But his are more high tech, kind of got the futuristic incorporated into it, so it can disassemble into different things and reassemble back into being an actual fighting utensil. But yeah, there's
Hmm.
a bunch of stuff that happens with it I haven't shown off yet. I've shown off one thing that it can do in the book,
Hmm.
but I
Yes.
haven't shown everything that it can do.
Right. Since we're only on the first issue, we don't want to expose too much. Like it's got to be a
Yeah,
gradual
yeah.
development.
Got
No,
to
I definitely
tiptoe. Got to
respect that.
got to keep you guys coming back for more somehow.
Absolutely. That's like the biggest issue with comics. Sometimes they issue too much at once, and sometimes they drag it on for too long, and then people just lose interest. All right, so here we are. So this is the creator, your interior artist Erwin J. Arosa, letterist Eric
Mhm.
Weathers, and cover artist is Max Bertolini. So how did you guys get together?
So I'm on a lot of the comic book artist Facebook groups, even though I don't really
Hmm.
post. Well, nobody really posts anything until they need or try to sell something. But anyway, I was in those groups because I was getting ready to start the full length comic of Cobalt, and I wanted to start getting a different aesthetic than what I had for the 7-page origin story that I had for an anthology that I was part of. So I really wanted something more gritty, something a little darker. I know a lot of people are kind of like against that with comics right now, but I wanted something that looked rough, something. No, I didn't really want fine lines like most comic books. I wanted something that would kind of personify the setting. And so I posted it and I started asking people, post your portfolios and I'll go through them and everything. A bunch of people threw down what they had and everything, and they were all great, but nothing was really hitting what I wanted. So at the end of it, it was starting to get to where I would need to start getting an artist to actually, make these pages. And I was getting ready to pull the the thread from each
Hmm.
page. And suddenly, the last person on there was Erwin Arosa. And I saw his art and I was like, that's the guy. That's who I need. That's what I wanted. So I immediately hit him up on Facebook. He's very well spoken for his English. and
Mm-hmm.
the back and forth was just through Facebook Messenger. It was really great. I gave him my script, and his art, he just lined up so well with what I was envisioning. And that's what Atlantis Thrashing came to. I mean, I'm so happy with what he brought to the table that he's on for the second issue.
Oh, very good. So there's going to be a second issue.
Almost definitely. The mailing list is actually up right now. It's called a Cobalt Death Stalks Us.
Oh, very good. And so your original goal was to get to 3,000 US dollars, but you've actually almost doubled that goal. You reached 5,550 US dollars on your Indiegogo.
Yeah, I was really surprised because there's that drop off stage after you actually like launch it to where it just like sits there in limbo, and I was like, oh my god, I'm not gonna make it. Nobody wants to see this thing. I'm just going to scrap the whole thing. Screw comics and all this. And then because of Bancroft's show, because of Black Rose Comics allowing me to launch on his channel, and just a plethora of other supporters like Kimasabi and Dean. I mean, just everybody was really helpful in trying to get people on this thing. And lo and behold, we went 2,500 over, and I couldn't be happier.
All right, awesome. So, what is there something that you're planning to do with the extra money? Like, will you be launching some kind of special offers like on Indiegogo, like in addition to what you've already done?
So the extras will always be poured back into Tail End and the creative juices that I want to put in there. So it's definitely going towards Cobalt. It's going towards another short story that I'm going to put in the back of the second issue with a female protagonist known as Brickhouse. I actually teased her cover photo on Black Rose's channel last week when I was on. But the line art was done by Simon Pothier of the Nat Universe or the Natverse, and the colors were done by Oliver from 656 Comics, and it is beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Reading through the like looking at the way the coloring was done, like the only thing that this is just like a minor tidbit just based off the cover and what I've read through is that I think like the colors may be like the contrast may be a little bit too high, but it still maintains its like dark theme, which I commend a lot, especially like just looking at this first cutscene, like you could see like the darkness like contrast with the lights, which is like very 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 cyberpunkish. Like you can tell that there's the cyberpunk atmosphere already just by looking at it. And it's also good that there's like it's a good way to like show like hope in a dark world because I know with the way most comic book movies are done, they try to make it a little bit too gritty without being too risky. And I think, just looking at this, it's kind of a little bit of a breath of fresh air in terms of like, going back to what made this kind of entertainment, like, so, engaging, so risky. Because that's the problem with today's comic books. There's not enough risk. There's not enough of an exciting story. Nobody's like really pushing boundaries. Well, especially not in mainstream anyways. And if they are there, then it's like not as big as we thought. Go ahead.
Right. They're so busy with fearing alienating people and they're trying to be so inclusive with everything that you can't really take risks. I mean, you see what you get with all the comics of Marvel and DC. Everything's going to be bright. Everything's going to be comical. I mean, it's just there's no room for seriousness or questioning any kind of aspect of politics or whatnot without you already being given the answer that you might not agree with. So I stick with Comicsgate and their comics. They're fun, they're exciting, and I can't see what else we have coming out. I back so many books from other creators, it's crazy.
Okay, looks like a couple of people in the chat are saying that there's some internet issues with both picture and sound. But I think, I mean, everything's fine on your side though, so I can hear you just fine. So maybe it's just like maybe just on that specific person. Actually, I'm going to ask the chat right now. Like, are you guys able to hear this loud and clear? Just to make sure that it's not an isolated incident from someone else.
How's it going, Hen? Laura.
Hello, Hen, Laura, Rose, Donut,
Carrie. Yeah.
Gary. All right.
Glad to see y'all jump in.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a bit of a community myself. Oh, okay, it's fine now. Awesome. All right, so here's what I'm going to. Yep, everyone's hearing me perfectly. Very good. Awesome. Okay, so it's just from their side. So it's all good. All right. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to try a few auditions just to see, like, whether it's something that you've pictured, and then we could, like, sort of like, improvise from there, see what we can improve on, and what we can keep for the time being.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. So hey, bro, about to be off. What? But you promised, Jesse. I know, man. I'm sorry. Remember you said we'd go to the movies when I finish my homework? Well, it's done. I want to go. I know, Isaac, but I can't. Rent's due tomorrow, so I had to pick up another shift. Lame excuse. I'm literally looking at the duffel bag full of cash right now. We've been through this. That bag is for we've been through this. That bag is for a rainy day. All right, so that's just right. It's a little bit of a sample right there. I wanted to give the main character Jesse a little bit of a darker tone, like, since he's a lone warrior, he's isolated, he himself, like, is in a like a dark place. And so therefore, like, he has to have a bit of a monotonous voice, so that way he can't be too affectionate while also not being too cold either.
Right.
So
I agree with
that. Something that you
when it comes
was that something you envisioned?
Yeah, definitely. I envisioned that for Cobalt when he actually puts on the mask and interacts with people that he's getting ready to beat up or be beaten up by. No spoilers for the second issue, but when it comes to being with his brother, he's very much just trying to make his brother happy because of the situation that they're in right now. They're not going back to their home. They're hiding out in a dingy, old, nasty motel. He's just trying to keep a low profile because during this, he kind of broke up the cartel that he was a runner for back when, during a different lifetime. And so he's calm and collected. He's, very much the older brother when it comes to dealing with Isaac. But the voice that you had for him just then, I would picture it more for his time interacting with people as Cobalt.
All right, perfect. And I definitely like the bit of disappointment with his brother Isaac, because he's growing up, like, he's a teenager, like, he's like being used to this kind of disappointment. He's kind of looking for hope, like, I can see a little bit through the I can sort of, I don't know, like, whether this is intentional, like, through this specific panel, but, like, I'm seeing a lot of, like, light in the background in comparison with his brother Jesse, who's in the darkness. So I just wanted to see whether he was representing, like, light that was dimming, like, as a metaphor for his growth and pessimism.
I'm so glad that you picked up on that, because I made a note to a Rose of that when Jesse's out as Cobalt or away from his friends and family, it's never bright. It's always dull, dreary, worrisome. He's not altogether himself. He's not comfortable. It's very much him thrashing about, so to speak. But when he's with his family and everything, when you see the pages coming to where he's with his friends and family, not thinking about that stuff, not thinking about vengeance, not thinking about, what this guy did to me, I'm going to do back double to him. When he's not thinking like that, he's very calm, collected, and happy. And his brother is that little spark to make that happen. But is he going to follow up with that? Is he going to let that follow through? Is he going to choose that path, or is he going to choose the path to be vigilante in his comeuppance?
All right. Sounds good. Awesome. All right. So, all right. Well, we're going to skip ahead a few issues. So don't want to. Okay, definitely want to skip the bloody stuff. Don't want there to be any, like, don't want to be struck down for, that kind of material.
Sure.
But what I will do is I will, try. Okay, here we go. No, wait, sorry. I want something that's like, non-spoilerish.
Sure.
All right, here we are. We'll try something like this. Okay. So I was looking through some of the some of the gang members. Before, so a few days ago, I showed I tried a few samples just to get some impersonations of just some impersonations of what a gang member would sound like. So for this guy, if I recall correctly, I did something like, "I'm gonna make you my bitch, boy. Let's go."
That's
like something something a little bit more rough. He obviously, like he's a typical gang member looking for trouble. You can see like raspy voice, very very poor clothing, and the burns. I believe that. Yeah, I can see a bit of scarring and like premature aging. The guy obviously has some very poor lifestyles. So you sort of have to picture yourself as that person. It's like, "I'm gonna make my bitch, boy. Let's go." Make it raspy, so that way that he's got his vulnerabilities right there. And then
12 packs a day
and
plus
then of course, there you go, exactly. It's like, and then here it's like, "Did you just call me Mr. Bitch Boy, or is that separated by a comma?" Yeah, and then as opposed to Cobalt, who has that clear enunciation because he doesn't let any bad habits get to him. He's got that deepness, but he doesn't have that raspiness. Just as a way to show that he's not vulnerable compared to the other gang members. And then I try a few variations of what he's got. Yeah, this one I wanted to make a little difference since he tends to last a little bit longer compared to the other guys. It's like you can see that he's a little bit more experienced as a gangster while still being a gangster overall. It's like shit, something like shit, like a little bit of an older voice while still being raspy.
Yeah, when I thought of the Thrashers, because there's going to be multiple gangs throughout the story of Atlanta's Thrashing. But when I thought of the Thrashers, I very much thought Sons of Anarchy type style with them, just to get
absolutely
weathered.
Yeah, I definitely saw some inspiration from Sons of Anarchy here, and then here I'm not sure you're every time I look at the mask for Cobalt, I just envision Sub-Zero or Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, a lot of aggression. So the way that the mask is drawn, it looks identical to the ones that Scorpion or Reptile or Sub-Zero would wear. Not sure whether that was your inspiration.
No, in my character concept art, that one of my buddies did for me. There was a blue slit right here with some blue lines out through here on the mask. But when Erwin picked it up, he doesn't oversimplify, but he simplifies the look just enough to where you still understand what kind of armor he's wearing. And for the aesthetic that he's got going on here, I think it works well. So I didn't really pick it apart or whatever. But I have heard many people say it looks like a fusion of Sub-Zero and Stryker from Mortal Kombat. But that's definitely not where I thought it was coming from. But I still love it. I mean, if people can, get that out of it, that's cool. But, sure.
Yeah, because once I saw the tonfa and then the mask, I was like, okay, this guy's definitely going to be you can tell it's going to get bloody, just go all crazy, mixture of kung fu with some special techniques. So we'll just try. We'll move on to another one. All right, let's try another one right here. Okay, that's got some blood. All right, here we are. Okay, so here we go. So it says here, yeah. Oh, the Thrashers get a spot like this. This was Midas's base. He wouldn't let these 8-bits take his territory, not without spilling blood. Things shifted that maybe since the arena split, maybe I... Oh, right. Yeah, you sort of like keep that, like, that deep voice, like, deep voice, deep atmosphere, darkness. Deeper you go, darker you get, while still having that light in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it'll be okay, miss. She's fighting it hard, but whatever she's been given is winning. You're severely dehydrated. I need you to drink this. This is an old phone, maybe a burner. No passcode or recognition needed. So calling you some help will be simple enough. Okay. Okay. Before I move on, I just want to make sure whether anyone in the chat can, like, if there's any distortion with the voice, like, whether it's coming in clearly, so that way I don't, say anything that makes it any worse or doesn't come crystal clear. Because you can hear me loud and clear, so just want to make sure it's the same for everyone else.
I don't know. I'm hearing it
15
fine.
seconds away. Okay, that's good. Okay, that's good. That's good. Awesome. All right. So I'll just move on a little bit more.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. So here we are here. Oops. Sorry about that. Unexpected call since I'm doing it from my home. It's been a bit hit and miss, Romer. That's okay. No worries. Like I said, this is just like, first time doing it. So there's definitely going to be some lagging in between. So that's all right.
Sure.
All right. So we are today on Search the Unconscious. We have, yes, I have a female at the back exit of the night hall known as Engage. She's ODing. We need ambulance and police right away. Yeah, Spring Street Northwest. Would you look at that? More than enough for rent. Might make it to the movies after all. Okay, so we can so this is definitely something I like right here. Breaking the stereotype of the hero, as a hero is meant to like, work on himself, whereas this guy tends to steal from the gangsters, making him a bit of an anti-hero, like without a heroic code, which I find extremely refreshing and realistic.
Cool. Hell yeah. If I was hiding out in a motel and I didn't have any money, I'd be taking off the guys that got it with, less than honest, ways.
No, absolutely. No, like, in a cyberpunk world, like, inflation rises, unemployment rises, you got to take what you can get. And like, while still keeping like, you got to have a code, so to speak. You have to have a code to you that's unbreakable. It's not but like even, it doesn't have to be a perfect code, but it's got to be something that you yourself can abide by. So that way you don't lose your way when you're doing this kind of stuff, when you're a crime fighter.
Agreed. 100%.
All right. So I don't know. We're behind a club. Probably a cocktail of methamphetamines. Coming out for a smoke when I saw a couple of guys bring a girl out back. I think they were, well, I know what they were trying to do. Yeah, they're Thrashers. They're swinging a couple of guys around too. So we got that. Guys, remain calm. Try not to move. I'm going to go back to check on the girl. You're doing great. God, they better hurry the hell up. At this point, I've done all I can for her. Yeah, it's a little bit tough trying to stream from the phone. I mean, I wish it was a little bit easier.
Sure.
If I tried to do it from a laptop, I'd expose my face, which at this point I can't. I don't want to risk doxing myself. But once I do move to Mexico, it's definitely going to be a little bit easier since I'll have a bigger room, and then I'll be able to afford a lot more equipment. So,
There
first
we
time
go.
is always going to be a little shot. First time will be a little bit shoddy, but, practice makes perfect. All
Right.
right, here we go. So this is definitely something I want to show. So this is what you explained earlier. So once he's meeting up, we have a new character here. Like it becomes all bright again. You see him in a lighter atmosphere. Like he's like more relaxed, able to sort of breathe a sigh of relief, get rid of the darkness, so that way he's more at home, more able to communicate the way he wants. All right, so I'm gonna have to. I'll definitely need to. Yep, go ahead. Go ahead.
This spot right here that they're at is called the quarterback, and if you've ever been to Atlanta or if you live in Atlanta, there's this place off the interstate known as Varsity. It's this burger joint, this burger diner there that's been there for ages, decades. And I wanted to give a little like throwback or a nod to it, so I made this little diner, a little burger joint called the Quarterback. So that's a little nod to it without being sued for royalties.
No, it's definitely tough. I mean, like a lot of comics, like they have to change like a letter or make sure the logo isn't too similar to like what the other real companies are, just so like in a way, depending on what kind of setting they're in or what kind of time it's taking place, that it's something that could still be relatable with current time, but they're still able to do things in their own in their own setting,
Definitely.
their own atmosphere, kind of thing. That's good. All right, so it's like, all right, so I'll have to skip the female voices because I don't want to make it. I don't want to ruin the dark setting. So it's like, not quite. I'm gonna need a fried peach pie to top it off, and a slice of pie. Thanks. Isaac, wash your hands. I don't see you getting up to wash yours. Son, you better do what your brother says before I give the order. Okay. In this case, yes, I realize that I'm Caucasian, so I take I do not apologize for anyone that I have offended by pretending to be an African American while being a Caucasian in real life. So if you're offended by what I say, then that's on you.
Nah, you're good, man.
All right, so
it's okay. I didn't realize you were Caucasian. It's all good.
Yep. So by the end of this stream, I will definitely be labeled a white supremacist or something, that's considered a political target. That's okay. All right. So yeah, that being a one-man show with this kind of thing, it's definitely great practice, just to sort of like show your just to like be flexible, because you can't be like one character at all. Like you have to, like, when you're doing voice acting, I believe that you're showing off a part of you with each voice that you give. So it's like you show part of like your personality when you're voicing like someone who's a lot older, a lot younger, like a lot stronger, a lot weaker, that kind of stuff. So this one, like I didn't want to make it sound like too stereotypical, because you can't you can't make him sound like that he's dumb. You got to make him sound like that he's aggressive without looking too without him being like too dumb.
Not at all.
You could tell right here, because I know what you were trying to do with this character. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this character here is Thomas Rogers, and he's actually inspired by one of the guys that I met in the amputee community when I became one. Just like Thomas Rogers, he's an ex-military, lost his arm while he was, still posted out, across the pond. And so he really helped me with my transition from being, full body able to, an amputee. So I lost 4 fingers on my left hand back in 2013. And that's how I came up with Cobalt. Was we were making an anthology for kids to where they could be, where they could have characters that were more relatable to them. So we came up with the anthology Super Amped Comics. And so
Oh
it was a bunch of
wow.
superheroes with limb differences, just like kids. So we did that for them. It went off without a hitch. It was great. It was great seeing those kids' faces light up and everything. But after that, I wanted to go darker, hence this. But Thomas Rogers has always been part of it because he was actually part of my experience. So this is a
Oh,
nod and kind of a tip of the hat to him.
no, I like that. No, that's it's very encouraging, very inspiring, especially, you know, for those growing up with disabilities or those who have lost limbs in similar incidents that you have, to let them show that, you know, you don't need to have a disability to, sorry, miss.
No, most definitely. Yeah. You were good.
No, I just want to make sure I have it right. It's like, you know, don't let anything get in your way of your passion.
Right. Yeah. You don't
Even
need
it
to go
doesn't
out.
matter whether you're disabled, whether, you know, you have some sort of personality disorder, as long as as the key thing is, as long as you're strong inside and spirit, anything is possible.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely try to make it to where, you know,
All right,
people
so
just
yeah, we
look at
actually
it as,
have.
you know. Oh, go ahead.
No, you can go ahead. I'm just going to
Okay.
show them.
Yeah,
The
there's
second
this
panel.
thing that goes on within the amputee community from well, if we call you outsiders, not really outsiders, but anyway, from quad walkers is what we like to jokingly call everybody. But from what we get from quad walkers is what's called inspiration porn. When they see us like doing something that a full-bodied, fully abled person would be able to do, they're suddenly like, "Oh, bless your heart, you're such an inspiration." All of us are like, "Get the fuck out of here. We don't want that." You know. If we're being dicks, treat us like a dick. If we're being nice, you know, do the same. But don't give us this like little special treatment, pat on the head bullshit, because we're not for it. We don't care for it. Inspiration porn can stay on Pornhub.
Absolutely. And yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. Like, especially like how we brought up politics earlier. Some people like use, like, you know, their condition as a means to try and, like, you know, gain fame, and then after that,
Right.
they just, like, you know, they just let go of their passion, and then they let money take over. Whereas
Yeah.
it's like, you know, in your case, you know, it's not about that. You don't let your disability control you. You control, like, you know, your spirit controls that, and then outside of that, you use that as a means to, you know, inspire other people to do great things, while
Yeah, I mean,
while
you only get
going
two
this
options in life. You only get two options in life. You can either bitch about it or you can have fun with it. So, what's your choice?
exactly. All right, so let's go here. Yeah, yeah, I want to try something here, like in terms of a little bit of what's it called,
Okay.
back talk kind of thing,
Yeah.
because with like interrupting, you gotta, especially when you're a one man show, like, you know, this is like a great way to sort of, like, you know, time yourself in terms of like how to say it back, tone, that kind of thing. Let's see what it goes here. What's been up? So what's been up with you guys? I haven't heard much since, you know, Isaac. Say, you got a new job now, working thirds? Yeah, just started bartending at Saturn. Not a lot, but enough for rent and a few things. Saturn? Damn, that's an upscale place, Jess. A lot of coin to be made there, but not a good enough story for that much gauze on the floor. Thomas, stop, all right? A couple of guys at the lounge were harassing a waitress, and I, along with the security, had to escort them out. Don't bullshit me, Jensen. You know, I sense bullshit when there's bullshit to be sensed. You might as well be carrying that in your duffel bag. Ladies and gents, Thomas Rogers is finally off his game. No one saw this. Jesse, you don't have to do this on your own, man. If you recall, I was there at the beginning of all the crazy shit that went down with Esmeralda. I get it. But you don't have to block me or Isaac from what you're going through. Hell, that boy's going through his own thing too, and he needs his brother to help him. So from the top, what's been going on with you? Why you tapped out? You win. I was out last night. Ran into the Thrasher gang, and they had drugged this college chick from Tech. I intervened, called the law. It was nothing. And then here we go. Damsel in distress. I knew it. I friggin' knew it. Jeez, Tom, I friggin' knew it. Well, Isaac and the world don't, so keep it down. All right, so actually, I wanted to go back to like you mentioned Esmeralda. So this is someone who's going to become important later on.
Yeah, she's actually part of the beginning origin story for Jesse becoming Cobalt. Because I inserted the 7-page origin story in the back of Atlantis Thrashing, since it's the first issue to this ongoing series now. And I plan on doing that with the books from here on out. Is if I have an origin story for a character, I'm going to put it in the back of an issue that's already out, so I can kind of hear if there's a hype for what's coming down the line that they see in the back of the book. But yeah, Esmeralda's definitely part of the beginning, because it's her cartel known as La Aranya, which means the spider. Yep. So, you know, gangs and everything. It's a web of whatnot. So she calls herself like the godmother, the widow of it all. And so he was a runner for her, just trying to make ends meet, trying to collect some money to pay for his mother's hospital bills and everything. And one night everything goes south, and she kind of takes compensation out of his hand, 4 fingers. And so it kind of ensues from there. That's the origin story. I want to make that into like a full 80-page origin graphic novel. But at this point, I'm focusing on the aftermath before I go back to the beginning.
All right, very good. Okay. And speaking of expansion, have you thought about creating like what is it, like a video game, or expanding into like entertainment in terms of like movies, a series? What would be your first step in terms of that kind of expansion?
Whoever approaches me first.
Well, I do know that a lot of yeah, go ahead.
I haven't really thought of it that far ahead, because I haven't expected it to pick up or really take off like that. But maybe after a lot more eyes and whatnot get on issue 2, and it just keeps going with more issues coming down the pipeline, hopefully I get that kind of fan base for Cobalt, and then we'll see what happens.
All right, awesome. And how long did it take to create this specific issue?
This specific issue, I always had rattling around in my head, but it took about from March 2020 to October 2020 to actually like come up with the first issue, like to get it all planned out and everything. And then from October 20th to February 2021, I had my artist working on the pages at that point. Hang on one second. Somebody just woke up. Hang on.
Yeah, your child. Nope, go ahead. Okay, so we have here the we just got a little bit of a background here. We got a Vegeta, we got a Superman, we got a Cobalt, picture, and we have the little one.
Yeah, this is a Bionic Baby.
Bionic Baby. And how old is Bionic Baby?
3 months old. 3 months old. 3 days ago.
Oh, very good.
He's like, what am I doing?
I assume there's going to be a Bionic Baby in the next couple of issues.
Oh man, don't jinx it. We don't need that on Jesse's plate too. But we'll see. We'll see what goes on down the line.
Well, a lot of artists, like especially Tug, like they like to include like their family, like in the issues. Like he included Littlest Umbrella, and then in his second issue included Baby Umbrella Girl. He even introduced his wife. We nickname her Mug, and like she as the Cthulhu creature. Like just as a bit of a metaphor, nothing too like a very exaggerated metaphor sort of thing. Right. But she's really nice in real life. And then that's the thing. Like people like that, they always tend to look at the positives, and then they also turn negatives into positives. Because he himself has been through a lot in terms of doxing. He got doxed twice. His mailbox got broken into, and he's even had, he's been harassed multiple times. A lot by Twitter, some threatening to call his mayor to take him out, get him arrested, all which have failed, thankfully. And what I wanted to ask you is, has there been anyone who has, attacked you, and how did you manage it? Like, was there something you did to turn that negative into a positive, or did you manage it a different way?
I haven't had anybody attack me. No. I'm still quote unquote a small time creator, but I haven't had anybody attack me or anything, nor have I had anybody come after me because of my disability at my workplace. So I haven't ever been attacked. There's been some smart asses that I deal with at my day job, because I'm head of security for a little company. You might have heard of them, called Walmart. And
oh, wow.
So I'm head of security for them, and I've ran into a couple people that have tried to like get under my skin with comments, but nothing's. I got a thicker skin than that. But no, I haven't really been attacked by anybody. No doxing, none of that stuff here within CG either. Oh, you stop that! You stop.
I guess she doesn't. I guess he doesn't like the dox word.
No, so I've got a stroller right here next to me, so I'm just rocking them back and forth back to sleep.
Yep, no worries.
There we go. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. I also like a little bit as we go further on, we can see a little bit of like usually whenever you see like a comic book story, there's always you like the people that you care about who are closest. Those are the ones who you try to separate away from like your crime fighting career.
Right.
With Spider-Man, classically you have Aunt May. You've got Mary Jane to a certain degree, Gwen Stacy. But with this one, like straight from the get-go, they already know, like the main characters, the people close to him already know what he does. So in a way, it's a bit refreshing, like doing that, like seeing them all together. And then you have his younger brother, who looks like he's also getting into it as well, in terms of like wanting to follow in his brother's footsteps, to sort of get a way to connect with him more, especially with people who are crime fighters who are doing this kind of stuff. It's always hard to like keep a relationship, like a relationship like this. So it's very refreshing. And what was the reasoning for wanting to introduce it as a older brother, younger brother kind of thing? Why not like have a father figure or a mother figure? Like what drew you into this specific concept?
That dynamic between father like losing daughter, or father losing son, and mother losing daughter or son, that's been overplayed, overdone, in my opinion. There's a bond there. If you have a sibling, there's a bond that even your parents can't fuck with. I mean, I myself have a younger brother, hence Jesse having a younger brother. But my brother is only like 2 years younger than me. There's not that big of a difference, such as there is with here Jesse and Isaac. But there is that dynamic, that there's this bond that just can't be broken. It's stronger than steel. It's stronger than any hard metal on earth. It goes well beyond the heavens. So I thought messing with that dynamic and seeing what I can do with that down the line, as Isaac starts making up his own minds of how to interact with, bad people, and how to hold himself up within the hero / vigilante community, because it might just happen for him down the line. But he's going to see what's happened to his older brother as, you know, time goes on. He's going to see what's torn him down, what's built him up, and he's going to try and do a better job at what he saw his brother go through. So he's very much he's my version of Gohan from Dragon Ball Z.
But very good.
He's not quite there yet.
Right. So Isaac would be Gohan. Sorry. Yeah. So Jesse would be Gohan, and Isaac would be Trunks. That kind of way.
Yeah. Jesse, as you can see, like in the book, when he starts like going out of his way to like try to do the investigation side of things, he very much doesn't think 2 to 3 steps ahead. He's very much just there in the moment, and it's not always the smartest move that he does. Like, he uses his actual name in front of a cop instead of making up a name. So he's very naive and new to it. He's very green. So I wouldn't say I'd say he's more of a Goku or Naruto if we're gonna go anime with it. But he's very much learning how to go about and hold himself as he starts putting on the mask.
Right. I think in terms of Goku, I think he's definitely got a bit of the carelessness and like the energy, but like in terms of like the dark atmosphere, like that's probably where it, like in his personality, that's where he becomes a little, like he feels a little bit more distant. I mean, Goku himself was distant, but it was on purpose. Like he was just more focused on fighting.
Yeah, and that's what you saw at the beginning of Atlantis Thrashing was Jesse. He still has a lot of anger built up in him from, the loss of his mother and the Aranya basically taking his hand away from him. And those things happening like right next to each other. That's a lot of shit to put on your cross. So he's very much bearing it as much as possible, even though his circle's trying to help him. He's very much going about it himself. And he's glad Thomas is there to like help guide him and train him, but he's not really listening on how to do things. He's not taking the advice of how to go about, the steps of taking down, I don't know, a huge cartel or gangs in Atlanta. He's doing it his own way, and he's going to learn that the School of Hard Knocks is right around the corner.
Oh, absolutely. And, I think that's that becomes really relatable for anyone else who's in like, a similar situation where they feel like everything is against them, and then they need to find their own way to sort of go through those obstacles. Majority are not going to be expecting those hard knocks, and that can definitely, put them down, and then they're not sure where to go. And then you see someone like him who's able to, go through this kind of stuff, and then he still has his flaws. And that's refreshing, because we expect a superhero to be flawless, like that nothing can stop him, that kind of thing. But, that's the thing. Like, this is real life. And, with real life and grim and darkness, you have to face things in a specific way where you're going to get knocked down, but still have that kind of hope that keeps you going no matter what. It's kind of similar to another anime that I think this follows closely. Well, no, this one's actually way darker. It's called Berserk.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it.
No, Berserk is one of the darkest mangas you will ever read in your life. If there's hopelessness in this one, but he still has people close with him. Then again, this is still the green area, so it's still unfair to compare it to Berserk at that point.
Sure.
But in Berserk, like, the main character is already alone. Like, he's like, you can see he's strong, but he's not a hero. He's human. he's able to go through stuff while still being very weak on the inside. And you know, this
Right.
it's similar to what Jesse is doing here, and I like that because if you don't have those vulnerabilities, nobody's going to be able to relate to this character.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of comics within the CG community. And I'm not knocking them or anything, but none of them take the time to build the relationships between the characters. They just basically establish them and then go about whatever is about to take place. And
Right.
to me, that for as many pages as they put in their books, most of them, you know, like 80 pages plus, you should be able to find the beat of making those relationships kind of stand out. Like, what are their favorite things? Like, what are some memories that they have with each other? Like, Jesse and Isaac, I'm going to be throwing a memory that they have together in issue 2 that concerns their mother, and it's going to be this like nice, warm, tender moment. No comedy is going to come in and break it up, Marvel, and so you know, I really think, you know, people are missing out on the relationship aspects of their characters instead of just, you know, technically telling them that they're there, but not really showing it. You know, everybody always says that comics are more show than tell, and I've yet to see it happen with some character relationships.
Right, absolutely. No, that's just this you're definitely spot on when it comes to like, you know, being more show than tell, especially with new comics and especially some of the newer Marvel and DC movies. They don't focus on the development, and if the development is there, it's too subtle. And it can only really be expressed through the acting, which itself can only be a good thing depending on who's directing the movie.
Right.
But of course, there are some exceptions to when, you know, the actor, no matter what kind of material he has, he's still able to emanate that direction from his from the character he's playing. Key example being Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin.
Yep.
Like if you saw the new Spider-Man movie, No Way Home, you can see from his voice that he's emanating that he still has that insanity, and he has no bounds as to where that insanity goes, who he's willing to screw over, and that's like the kind of stuff you still hope for when you're reading like the older manga. Sorry, not manga, but the older Marvel comics with Green Goblin in it. Something that's, you know, definitely missing in the newer comics because they tend to more focus on an agenda instead of a story, and that's where it all falls apart.
100% agreed.
All right, so here I'm just going to try a new one. So the reason why I wanted to focus on this one is one where we have a bit of I think he's meant to be like, you know, a bit of an antagonist, like a foil to Detective Jensen, while still being a bit of a paternal figure to that. Yep. So that one can always be a little bit of a bit overplayed as well, with like, you know, father-daughter relationships, and then a protagonist coming in with the father being overprotective, and then the daughter figure trying to help out in that kind of sense. So I mean, here I think it's like, you know, it's not too overdrawn, which is great. Because once it becomes like too obvious, then it sort of turns into a soap opera.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So here I wanted to see what his voice was here. Here I wanted to make him sound more professional. Like the other guy here, Thomas, like, you know, I wanted to make him a little bit more laid back while not being like, while obviously showing some kind of street smarts and intelligence. And here, like, this guy will be a little bit more seasoned, more experienced, so like he knows his way through this. So then with experience, you know, comes a little bit of you know, lack of imagination, and with lack of imagination comes a little bit of lack of curiosity, sort of thing.
Right. Yeah.
So let's see what we have here. Give me one good reason as to why I should. No, sorry. It has to be a little bit more seasoned than that. I'm just trying to envision him, like, because I give me one good reason as to why I should, Anna. Something like that, like a little bit more gruffer while being serious and not trying to sound like too stereotypical. Like I definitely don't want him to be too hip hop. I want him to be like, sort of like because he's from Atlanta, so he's got to have a little bit of like a southern accent. Give me one
Right.
good reason as to why I should, Anna. And then here we go. There's Detective Jensen. Yep, here we go. Let me get this straight, Detective. It takes 4 officials to come by and interrogate my daughter for the same information within a time frame of 3 hours? Why can't you just get that from them? She needs rest, not more of the same damn questions. You're right. I'll get out of your hair. And then, gotta skip that. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make him sound like, like he's got that antagonism without being too, like sounding like too aggressive.
Right.
Who the hell was that? We don't have a Jensen in this precinct, much less some punk with a metal hand. I wanted to make him sound like, like he's got that, like he's got to be like, aggressive while being reserved because he's experienced. And then while all obviously showing like, this kind of care a father would show with a daughter. And what I like here is like, there's, like people will probably like, people will probably throw like, the diversity card here because, African-American father with Caucasian daughter. But here it's like, you're not putting any of that kind of identity politics here, which is good because like, someone else would just say, no, that's good. Like, no, you got to flip it with that kind of stuff. Like you could still show the reality without trying to like push something in there. It's like saying, as an African-American father, I know how this stuff goes. And then like you say that, it's like, okay, it all falls apart then. All right. So yeah, this is pretty good here. A lot of cover here. Yeah, I don't know if this was intentional as well, but in the hospital you sort of see a bit of a gray area here. Like it's not too light and it's not too dark. Probably to represent like the somber reality of things. That there's always going to be some light and darkness in between.
Right. I mean, when you look at like cyberpunk movies and they always like go to the hospital, it's very clean. There's barely anything in it. But what if the hospitals and everything kind of like went in unison with the police stations and they were just given, the hand-me-downs while all the rich folk get all the, nice updated technology. So I kind of went with it in that form.
Okay, now this I definitely wanted to show a bit because I wanted to show the main antagonist of the series. This one I wanted to show because I wanted to like flex a little bit of the like just show a bit of flexibility with the voice here. So here we got the Thrasher gang, and then we got the main antagonist. So I'll probably show 3 issues of this, like just to represent the sort of like represent the differences in terms of like voice and personality, that kind of thing. All right, so here we go. So we'll start. So here it is, the seasoned the seasoned gangster. I get that, and had it not been for that guy, we wouldn't have any problems. Right, mister. Do not say my name, you idiot. I am remarkably close to delivering the product promised to our investors, and I cannot have an overzealous cop and a vigilante with a feeble-minded sense of altruism impede our deadline. Shit, sorry. We'll make it up to you. It was a fluke. We'll handle it. You'll have to excuse me. Though your brazen assurance is to be admired, the capsule of narcotics being jammed into your nasal cavity allows room for skepticism. Since he's got a hologram, you got to make it sound a little bit robotic. And like, sort of like give like the whole mystery, sort of make it mysterious, like a transformer kind of thing. Not knowing where
I agree with that because as you saw when when he was about to say his name, Mister, he just cuts him off and says, "Don't say my name, moron." And so, yeah, he's very much trying to keep it
while keeping it professional. So you can tell that
Yeah.
this kind of guy is going to be a threat. Like he can hold it in, unlike the Thrasher gang, like who lets their aggressions get to them, and then just you can tell that these kind of people will fall apart easily.
Right.
As per detailed by the first fight in the issue.
Yep.
All right, so here we are. And then here we are, the introduction of the antagonist. All right, so take care, Laura. I'm so glad that you were able to pop by. All right, so here we are. So here we go, Susak. He's got us, a ninja? What? Look at that getup. Tell him I'm wrong. Shut the fuck up, Terrence. Can you show me the targets? Yeah, here. This asshole calls himself Cobalt or some shit. Just an idiot playing dress up in mommy's old comforts. That bitch there, she's a cop. Anna Reyes. She's been sticking her nose where it doesn't belong. We were about to take care of that problem till that punk came out of nowhere. Very well. I will make sure they no longer inconvenience you. Good. I'm getting tired of that bitch getting into our affairs, trying to find out if I have something bigger going on in the neighboring gangs. Do you? If you do your job, I won't have to answer that. It's been a long time coming for her. But if we went after her now, the cops wouldn't play as nicely as they have been. Get what I'm saying? Understood. And then I want to sort of do a bit of a soliloquy. Well, just give him a little, try to detail his voice here, because he's hooded, so he's gotta have a little bit of a mystique to him, a little bit of properness, while also showing this guy's not to be screwed around with, because someone who's holding back this kind of way means that they have something dangerous. There's something dangerous within them. I mean, the old saying, it's the quiet ones you gotta look out for.
Right.
Yeah, so this kind of thing. It's it means I'm being paid to do a job. I won't waste time fucking around. That's how you kill your people. That's how you get your people killed, or in this case, caught. I wanted to put a bit of an Indian accent without without making it exaggerated. I mean, I don't want to make him sound like Apu. I want to make him sound like an honorable assassin sort of thing.
Well, I'll tell you, the Deathstalker, he's actually inspired by the Peshmerga that helped us out during Afghanistan. So when we couldn't get our troops over the lines, the Peshmerga, who are a Kurdish regime, they were like, well, we'll fucking do it. So they're like the modern day Spartans. They were like, fuck it, we don't care. And so they went in and they helped us out while we were trying to get into Afghanistan. And so this is kind of a callback to them, or like a nod towards them, because he's Kurdistan, so he's got the Arabic, Muslim kind of, voice or connotations in his language and everything. And so that's the Deathstalker.
All right, awesome. Yeah, this is something you want this is something you want in a dangerous antagonist. You want him to show that insanity in a very subtle way, while he tends to hide that insanity with his calm demeanor, sort of thing, because that's what a real antagonist does. He has to hide his true nature through the clothing and his personality. And then once he unleashes it at the right time, then you say, okay, this guy is not to be screwed around with. There always has to be some sense of deception when it comes with the villains.
Most definitely.
So so it's what do you call yourself? Haji, Alibaba? My name is Qasim Almat. You may refer to me as the Yellow Scorpion or the Deathstalker. You gotta with this kind of demeanor, it's the Deathstalker. Get that serious tone in there, saying, I am death, don't screw with me, or I will screw with you, kind of thing.
Right. And his name kind of plays in like Ra's al Ghul means, you know, the head of the demon head. Qasim al-Mat
Yes.
actually translate to the distributor of death. So.
Oh, very good. So in a way, like he has, yeah, that's what I was thinking when I saw that person, Qasim al-Mat, like the Death Stalker. When I see like his demeanor and his calmness, like first thing that comes to mind is Ra's al Ghul, especially when like the way that he's portrayed by Liam Neeson, even though he's meant to be Arabic. Like, yeah, originally Ra's al Ghul, like in the comics, is Arabic, but he's portrayed as Caucasian by Liam Neeson, and you can like they have the exact same demeanor. Like they have this insane agenda, but there's this sort of, you know, politeness, this Zen. Well, I should say like this sort of Zen within him. He's sort of like an not chaos, but like he's like order. He's like evil order kind of thing. Like he controls chaotic himself neutral. While still chaotic neutral kind of thing. It's like, yeah, exactly. That's what you are as an assassin. You have to have that neutrality in you. Like, you know, you kill people, that kind of thing, and like you sort of you don't let it get to you. Like, you know, there's no bias. So here it's like one less message from our client. And we'll just go from there. Don't want to show the rest for obvious reasons. And then, yep. So we got a little bit of training for him. Hey, Eagle Rider, there you are. How you doing?
What up, Eagle Rider?
Yep. She. This is Rosetta. She does a lot of great drawings, like a lot of eagle drawings, and she also does a lot of portraits. Like she, like you, Bionic Brush. She also has a lot of military history in her family.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so she's done a lot of drawings of eagles, like a lot of like many of the characters, like she bases like, you know, upon like based on her looks, like she draws them in, and she does like a lot of like, you know, army art. What is it? You know, army drawings, like Navy, Marines, that kind of stuff. All right, okay. You know what? I will give her it. I will actually give her a wrench, because like when it comes to these kind of streams, like I'll definitely want someone like her. Definitely want someone like her controlling in case someone tries to you know, do these kind of what's it called? Try to sabotage the stream, like for their own political agendas, kind of thing.
Nah, doing good, man. Nah, just call me.
That's
Hen,
good.
Says, nor do I, Eagle. He is taking the piss, not wrenching us.
Well, the thing is, I don't want to have too many wrenches either, because, you know, then the whole stream becomes wrenches, and then everyone's going to try to, like, you know, censor everyone and stuff. Like, I want to make sure that I have, like, you know, good wrenches that won't, you know, try to time out anyone accidentally. Because, like, for now, it seems like, you know, we can do inside jokes, but once it becomes the real thing, then we gotta be, once, like, you know, we start getting bigger, if I get bigger, I mean, we'll see how it goes. Then we gotta be a little bit, you know, more careful with the target audience. So let's
you'll get the Dave Chappelle treatment.
I wouldn't mind the Dave Chappelle treatment. At this point, I really don't mind. The whole Chappelle treatment, especially with the way I was voicing Thomas right now. In fact, here's how I'm gonna try it. So here we go. All right, here we go. Here it is. How about I cut that smirk off your face? Get bent, asshole. Bring it on, you oversized dildo. Isaac. You had that number one in the chamber for a minute, huh? What the hell are you doing? Are you attacking him with the knife? Relax, Jess, all right? It's a training piece. Rubber. I assume that him losing the hand, that was inspired by a friend of yours, or by you specifically?
No, by by an ex-military vet named Thomas Rogers. So Thomas
Okay,
Rogers. I just flipped it.
So that was
But
the Thomas Rogers. Yes.
right. So Roger, Thomas, he's Thomas Rogers. So Roger, he actually lost his arm during a drill. So they were doing those little pipe bombs that they can launch. That's not a good motion to do on screen right there. But those pipe bombs.
Okay. It's comic. It's Comicscape. Any kind of speech is welcome. Especially for, well, disclaimer. I am a pervert, so this is
okay.
So
cool.
I'm welcoming any kind of actions like this. And hello, Margot. You're not invisible to me.
So they were doing a drill with a pipe bomb, and if you got a loader, you've got a seer and a third, but one of them, when the pipe clears of the empty shell, they're supposed to yell clear. Well, on this one, they didn't yell clear, so the guy loaded another bomb on top of another. So when he went to load it, it exploded and it took his hand. So that's how he lost his arm.
Oh, wow.
So he lost his during a drill because somebody just didn't yell clear during one of the training regiments. So, but yeah.
Is Roger Thomas still here?
Roger Thomas is still with us. He's down in Florida sailing boats. It's his favorite thing to do.
Awesome.
Other than, a little bit of Jim Beam now and then, but he loves sailing.
That's good. Okay, so we have a new guy here. This is Bill Bunker. I'm assuming this is inspired by another military friend of yours.
Not military, just somebody that lost their lower leg through just a cancer bug. But this guy actually came to me because during our Super Abled run on Kickstarter, one of the tiers was have a character created and put in one of the stories, and the guy actually chose mine to be part of. So I got in contact with him. I looked at his person, and then I just adopted that into the book. I was like, man, you have the exact look I want for a character. I'm just going to use your likeness and put it in there. And he was like, I'm good with that. And I was like, by the way, what is your profession? What do you do for a living? He was like, oh, I'm an IT guy. We call ourselves hackers, even though we do it legally. And I was like, that's fucking perfect. So you're going to be my chair guy.
Awesome.
And he was like, that's awesome. So you don't see it in this book, but he's lost a part of his lower leg. And the reason you don't see it is because there's no reason to fucking call out to it. It'll just be there when you see it. He's sitting down right now. There's no need to see it.
Yeah, because like many of the characters here, they already have limbs. They've lost some of their limbs. So in a way, like once you already see some of the characters losing a part of themselves, everything else, it just becomes less of a surprise. So I mean, you want to it's there, and then it's like, oh, okay, this is something that's going to be a common theme. And I think that's just become a metaphor for this. For this book right now, you see people losing a part of themselves, and I think that's just something that's going to become more common. And then depending on how much they lose, that also depends on how much they've gone through as well. Is that something that you put in a symbolism, especially with Thomas losing his arm up to his elbow, and then Jesse losing everything except his thumb?
Right. So, you also see how the different characters handle themselves after they go through a traumatic experience. Like Thomas, he started up basically a soup kitchen. That's where they're at right now, is in the basement of a soup kitchen that he started up to help out the less fortunate in Atlanta. And you can see Thomas down here. he's still a brainy guy, still loves his wires and technology and whatnot, his ones and zeros on the computer. But you see right there, he does love his beer at the same time. So, you know, he very much he's the funny guy of the group, and that's how he kind of handles his deal.
Okay, because
yeah.
what I thought of this guy, the moment I saw him, like you see him like with the beer belching, I'm like, okay, this guy's definitely going to be like the laid back guy. He's going to be like a bit of a comic relief. So what I wanted to do was like, you know, I have to exaggerate myself with this voice a bit and just like, you know, like I wanted to put in a Scottish accent for him, like because of the beard. Like, you know, you see like, you know, the orange beard, like with the shading there. It's like, okay, this guy's got to be a Scotsman. So what I did here was I went something like, good to meet you, Jesse. You want a beer, or you just want to see the surprise? That kind of stuff. I actually want to. I'm probably gonna make him sound a little bit like more rougher. It's like, good to meet you, Jesse. You want a beer, or you just want to see the surprise? You know, it's got to be like really. It's got to be like really aggressive, like he doesn't care, that kind of thing. So that because like, you know, he's been through a lot, so it's like, you know, he doesn't have to worry about like a lot of stuff anymore. Then we got a few other things as well. Oh, here we are. Welcome you to the war room. They call me Dozer just because of my size. I can bulldoze my way through any network, firewall, proxy, you name it. I'll get through it. Okay, we know the Thrashers. Use engage as their place of business, right? Yeah, that kind of stuff, you know, because, like, you know, they got to have that roughness, something to match their size, like, you know, the biceps, the beard, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Was that something? Did you envision him as being Scottish, or was that was like the whole?
No, that's just a nice little tack on that you're doing. I like it.
Okay, cool.
I just had him as this like normal, you know, big burly white guy that likes his beer and he likes to crack jokes in there. You know, just he loves busting balls. That's it.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. A few people in the chat. One lovely Sherry says, "Gelinto Sebi Romer." Mm-hmm. She wishes the best for me, so thank you for that, Sherry. And what else did she say? Pozdrav, draga moja. Greetings, my dear friend. All right, and round the R's. Yeah, I'll teach you some scary Scottish words. Yeah, so we have a few people in the chat who are actually from the UK, from England and Scotland. So,
okay.
I actually took So what I did was I actually took a few courses with the anime voice actor Chuck Huber, and he taught me like, you know, how to speak in a British accent, and a bit of a Scottish accent as well, and a bit of a Russian. Well, Russian for me isn't a problem because I'm actually quarter Russian and 3/4 Serbian, so I can definitely nail the Eastern European part. But I wanted to sort of like, you know, put that flexibility in there. I don't want to like have just like plain American accents. I want to show like, you know, diversity without, you know, pushing the D word, that kind of thing, without making it too without like, you know, making it like, you know, too trying to alienate people out of it.
Isn't it weird how it became such an issue after 2015, 17?
Yeah.
Yet Power Rangers did it right out the gate in 1990s.
Yeah, they did it in the 90s, but they didn't like try to. It just happened to be there without trying to push it.
Yeah.
So then, what else we got here? Just a few other things, and let's see. And then here, this is where the side story starts. So Adam Newell, Cobalt. So this is the one that will focus on. There we are, Esmeralda. Okay, so this one has got a bit of a. This one I want to try a bit of a Mexican Spanish accent. So luckily I just started, you know, doing a bit of a refresher on Spanish. But since she's a female character, it's going to be a little tough. So I'm going to definitely sound a little bit cringy here. Donde este es idiota? Spread out, cover the area, and make sure Okay, yeah, that was way too that was way too cringy here. So I'll definitely save this for a female voice actor.
Okay.
But other than that, I like the clarity of all this. Like, it's not as there's not as much shading going on. So, I'm guessing,
Mhm.
a little bit more symbolism when things were a bit more clear. So that's good. Liking this.
Yeah,
And then,
my
other
artist
than that,
for
go ahead.
my artist for that 7-page my artist for the 7-page origin story. His name's Jacob Newell, Newell. You can actually find
Yep.
him on Instagram or
Oh, awesome.
Facebook groups. He's an excellent artist. I highly recommend him.
Okay, awesome. So Jacob Newell. So, yep, that was great, Romer. It's okay, Margot. You don't have to lie anymore. But anyways, yeah. So I just wanted to do that. So the one I got, I believe I got the deluxe combo where it says the name's Cobalt. So this one comes with the anime sticker, and then we have a lapel, and this is a fridge magnet. And this one I like. It's a bit of a holographic showing Jesse and showing Cobalt and the Deathstalker.
So that right there is actually just a metal trading card that was an add-on for one of the tiers being unlocked. So that right there that you see in your hand is actually the cover for issue 2.
Oh, no kidding. So this is the cover for issue 2. Wow.
Yeah, that's my interior artist, Erwin Arosa. I let him do the cover art for issue 2.
Okay, it kind of felt like a fridge magnet at first because like it's so like it just feels like all metallic and like just sticking a bit. But okay, awesome. So this is a metal holographic card. I will take that.
Yeah, if you want a fridge magnet, then you gotta sign up on the mailing list for issue 2 up on Indiegogo right now, because this is going to be your refrigerator magnet with a chibi Cobalt by 6 a.m. Comics.
All right, very good. And all right, we're gonna be wrapping it up soon. So before we go, is there anything else you'd like to mention to the chat? Anything else that they'd like to know?
Yes, I'll be launching in conjunction with Dojo Kun Comics, the creator of the Siamese, the 2 cat twins, the 2 superheroines. We'll be launching together on February 18th on Michael Bancroft's channel with his new book known as The Shifter, and Cobalt Death Stalks Us. And if you back both of them at a physical level, you're going to get a poster print with art by Shelby Robertson. So I highly recommend that you jump on both of the mailing lists and then back us when we go live February 18th on Michael Bancroft's channel.
All right, you heard it here, folks. February 18th on Michael Bancroft's channel. The title. Do I have a link to share? Okay, so you have let's see. Is there a link that we can post in here? I think we should be able to. Oh no, we've got a private chat. Oh, I can post a comment here, so that's good. Right. Didn't know you can do that on StreamYard. You learn something new every day. All right. So how do you spell it? The YouTube channel. Like, is it a YouTube channel or is it something else for Michael Bancroft?
Michael Bancroft, I believe it's just Michael Bancroft.
Oh, very good. So spelled just like this, huh? So just posted it in there. So just want to make sure that's correct. All right, very good. So just look up Michael Bancroft on YouTube, and his channel should be right there. Let's see. Margot asked, do you draw the work for artwork? It's actually right here on the second page. This is the artist is Erwin J. Arosa. And the cover artist is Max Bertolini.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Oh, excellent. Everyone found in the chat, and then all right, very good. So I think we're going to call this a good stream. So thank you very much for coming on, Bionic, and I appreciate it a great deal. After all, we're all here to support each other. Comics Gate or you you don't have to be comics gay to enjoy this. You just have to be someone who, like, enjoys expressing their art, their passion, their love for what they do. And, from here, we just help each other out. So for anyone who watched this stream, make sure to be able to, share this video out, you name it, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, anywhere just post on here, so that way people get to know more about you. And then if they wanted, and if you know anyone who's also willing to do these kind of interviews and stuff, feel free to let me know, and I'll be glad to be a part of it. All right, so that's that, and talk to you later, chat.
Thanks for having me.